I would have these conversations even at faculty at UG with students, and they always ask a question of, can a UG degree get you there, or, is it good enough and stuff like that. And I was like, hey, I can be an example to show them any student coming out of UG can go to a Harvard, go to an MIT, go to a Stanford, go to a Michigan, right? Mm-hmm. And once you put in the work and take advantage of that opportunity, you can make something out of it.
So Chris, what do you think about 6 years ago to now, and tell us about that particular journey from then to now on a personal level, and then we can talk about the prevailing conditions that got you there. So
I'll tell you, it's fully unscripted, and I think that's one of the things I tend to appreciate about just my journey throughout in the tech space. So to put into perspective how it kind of came about, at the time I was faculty at the University of Guyana, working in the Department of Computer Science, also working alongside yourself at the time. That's right all the time. That's right all the time. You had just left UG. And at the time, just teaching data structures and algorithms, internet computing, these types of courses. And Professor Mars had came down visiting the university as part of the Educational Resource Ambassadors. This was an initiative started by then Vice Chancellor Law Griffith. And during his visit down, I kind of gotten a wind of him visiting because a few of my colleagues that actually have known of him, and they were telling me as well. And me and Professor Griffith had a good relationship. Remember, we were webmaster at the university at the time. They
taking over from me.
Yeah, taking over.
I recently left, and I kind of gotten Chris into that webmaster, just maintaining the web space at UG there.
Yeah, so all of the university websites, you're looking at the two people who originally built it. And so, me and Jason, we got a short conversation. Honestly, none of it was truly about research. It was just us connecting on, I think, a much higher level, speaking about a lot of the challenges we were seeing in Guyana and a lot of the stuff we were doing, especially at B75. And that just set the ball rolling that same day. After just meeting Jason and seeing his energy, I instantly called you and said, you got to meet this guy. Brought him down to the office down at NeXus Hub. And that started just...
What do you mean? We own space. NeXus Hub was actually a few years.
We were just about opening it. Did we launch it?
It was a concept then.
It was still a concept.
It was kind of a blur.
We call it Rebase.
Rebase. We were going through some names, but we had the co-working space experiment.
Yeah.
And that's where we are. Yeah. That's where we were. And you brought Jason in.
Yeah.
Drove him in, and then we saw that cool tech.
Yeah, and just in a few months, I was up in Michigan, right? Asa, Shamar, those guys, you guys all
This is back in 2018, right?
2018, 2018.
How long after was this following the Developer Stories episode?
That's a good question.
It was the same year.
It's the same year, but it's like 6 months.
But we had no inkling.
Not even a clue.
Of the cross section with Jason Mars, who's the member of the diaspora, and who at that time was at the helm of this AI company that had this meteoric growth in Michigan. Yeah. And so through Jason, you were able to get that scholarship to do not just your master's, but your PhD.
Yeah, so I got my master's along the way.
What's the technical term for that entire program?
It's interesting. Like you are accepted into the PhD program. Right. But after, at least at Michigan, once you finish your courses, you have the equivalent of a master. So you just kind of declare for it. Right. So after my first 2 years, I finished all of the coursework. And for people who might not know, PhDs are research degrees. So most of your time is actually doing research. The course is very minimal in the whole equation. So after I just wrapped up all of the courses, I was just focusing on my research work and the different ideas that I wanted to work on, particularly in human AI interaction and personalized AI models. What was really different there is, you're working with some of the smartest people in the world, right? Yeah. I remember going in and, meeting professors who had worked on like the early stages of Google, right? Having worked on some of the most innovative research in natural language processing, AI, computer architecture, and these people were right there in front of me. Yeah. And in some sense, I was immediately just rocket launched to like one step away from them in terms of like being in that same realm, right? And I'm like, whoa, what did I do to kind of end up here? And there were times of like asking myself, do I belong here? Right? Is this the right place? But I think
what sounds like imposter syndrome.
Yeah, it happened a little bit. But what kind of always allowed me to steer away from that was like I always think back home here, and I was like, hey, if I can make it through this, I can be that example for the next person to say this is possible, right? Because I would have these conversations even at faculty duty with students when they were thinking about, oh, should I apply around to do my master's at these different places? And they always ask a question of, can a UG degree get you there? Or, is it good enough and stuff like that? And I was like, hey, I can be an example to show them any student coming out of UG can go to a Harvard, go to an MIT, go to a Stanford, go to a Michigan, right? Mm-hmm. And once you put in the work and take advantage of that opportunity, you can make something out of it, right? So that was kind of my grounding factor.
Right. You got to get out of your own way.
Yeah, get out. You
got out of your own way.
Yeah.
You let things flow.
Yeah. And so once I put on that mindset, acclimating to the environment, like I said, you're working with some of the smartest people in the world, right? You have a ton of resources to kind of get it done. So once I had that element, it was just about, okay, what do I want to work on, right? And how can I now create more impact within the field, right?